Hey guys, how are you? So, before I say what I want to say, or maybe ask what I want to ask some of my friends, I just want to preface by telling everybody that while I voted for President Trump, and I generally support President Trump, and by the way, I think he has the best intentions. I am not a cultist of President Trump, meaning if I disagree with President Trump, I will let it be known, and I will let it be known. For example, this whole thing of AI and mRNA, this whole thing with Altman, that he just came out with this whole Stargate thing. I don't even know what the heck it is, but it doesn't sound good to me, right? So that's I just want to say that right off the bat, okay? I don't always agree with all of President Trump's policies. With that said, guys, question for you. You're looking at a president who moved the American embassy to Jerusalem, who declared and recognized the Golan Heights as being part of Israel after years and years of Israel themselves having negotiations and being forced into negotiations by presidents and by foreign entities into giving back the Golan Heights for years, since capturing it in a miraculous war in 1967. On top of that, all but basically allowing, quote unquote, allowing or giving the green light and essentially carte blanche for Israel to annex its ancient homeland, cradle of Jewish civilization, Judea and Samaria. He did this in his first term via Mike Pompeo, to the point where Psagot Winery even made a Pompeo edition for Mike Pompeo for this, right? And now Trump comes in. What's one of the first things he does? He defunds UNRWA. He basically says any person on any campus, college campus, who supports Hamas should be deported. Right? Foreign students should be deported. And on top of that, he removes sanctions from any person who was sanctioned by the Biden administration, any person who lives in Judea and Samaria. So my friends, I have some of my friends who are like now upset. It's one thing, and I understand why you're upset at President Trump for supposedly pushing Bibi into a deal. I also am not happy about it. I'm not happy the way this was done, at least publicly. To be honest with you, I'm not going to go into too much detail. I think there's, we're seeing like 1% of what really went on behind the scenes, and we don't even know what the 99% of it, the rest of it is. And I'm saying this truthfully, not because I want to give, because I'm a fanboy of Trump. I'm saying this honestly, truthfully. I think there's things that we don't know that either are about to happen and or deals that were cut, right? Meaning if these guys renege, which they probably will, Hamas, there's going to be a problem for them, okay? And Trump is going to be directly involved in it. With that said, my friends, you look at everything he's done for Israel, probably being the most pro-Israel president in history since the inception of the modern state of Israel, right? And there are some of my friends who say straight up that he's, a piece of garbage. He's only here for himself. He hates Jews. He hates Israel. He's only self-serving for this and that and the other. Blah, 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 on and on and on. Folks, and some of my friends who say this, you guys are Torah observant Jews. You guys see everything from the lens of Torah. But somehow you're not able to see that this guy was attacked mercilessly by his enemies, by his political opponents, attacked literally physically. They tried to physically kill him, and they failed, Baruch Hashem, and they tried to jail him in 5 or 6 different places for 5 or 6 different literally concocted BS things, or things that are like so minuscule that it's just like, it's absurd. Similar to, by the way, what happened to almost happened to Bibi, right? Similar kind of parallel things. My friends, I don't understand you. Again, when I disagree with President Trump, I voice my disagreement. I have no problem doing that. No problem doing that. But with that said, guys, I don't understand you. To see everything, or claim that you see everything from a Torah lens, from a Torah perspective, and to see the trajectory of what's going on, with Israel, and what's been, what Israel's been able to accomplish, and everything that's happened during the first go-around of the Trump administration, with respect to Jerusalem, the Golan Heights, Judea and Samaria, and now, on the first day, in the first 45 minutes of his administration, sitting there at his desk, signing executive orders, either for Israel or against the enemies of Israel directly. I mean, guys, I'm astounded. I'm literally, as we say in Hebrew, mamash astounded at this. Yeah, the whole thing with the deal, believe you me, I'm not a fan of it. I think the fact that we even had to come to a point that we had to make such a deal, and it was publicly announced, and how embarrassed we got by the deal, and we had to swallow our pride. Just public embarrassment, if nothing else, right? We had to let out these orcs who murdered Ari Fuld, who murdered and raped what's her name, Ori Ansbacher, guys who were involved with all kinds of attacks in Itamar and other places in Judea and Samaria, other places in Israel. If nothing else, it was publicly embarrassing, and our enemies are morally emboldened by it. Yes, I agree with you. I was the first one to say it, to the point where somebody accused me of having no empathy for the families of the hostages, right? Because I didn't want this deal to happen. But my friends, to just outright throw the baby out with the bathwater and say that this president is garbage, he's trash, he's anti-Semite, he's here for himself, he's only here for his own interests, and pragmatism. Guys, I'm sorry to tell you, I understand where all this is coming from. We've dealt with Asaph, so to speak, in the past, and Asaph has not been very, very good to us. But guys, I'm going to tell you, the best advice I can give you with regards to this, go on YouTube and listen to some of the shiurim, some of the lectures from Rabbi Mendel Kessin. He gets into what's called hashkafa of all of this, into the philosophy of all of this, and how basically we're looking at Asaph in a very, very clumsy way, I would say, yes, coming back to reunite with Yaakov. The good part of Asaph coming back to reunite with Yaakov. And yes, there's going to be a lot of gaiva, a lot of gava, as we say, a lot of this kind of behavior involved when it comes to Asaph anyway, because that's his paramount, his chief trait, right? His chief midah, as we say in Hebrew, character trait. But that's what it's going to be. That's the way it's going to be. And a lot of the times we're just, it's not going to look pretty. But guys, as you've seen with President Trump and Israel, the end result has always been, 99% of the time, always been in the positive direction. Again, embassy in Jerusalem, recognition of the Golan Heights, Judea and Samaria, removing all kinds of, sanctions from people who live in Judea and Samaria, on and on and on, guys. The list is so long, and it's just, now you guys can come and say, well, who cares? Why do we need validation from this person and the other? My friends, you don't ultimately need validation or anything like that, but it's, if previous administrations and the entire world, and every administration in the world has been crapping on Israel in the public sphere, International Criminal Court, International Court of Justice, UN, the list goes on and on, right? Right? We don't need necessarily validation from anybody, but guys, if a person does validate us, the president of the United States does validate, right? If the president of what you guys call Rome/Edom validates Judea and Samaria and validates the Golan Heights and invalidates our enemies, right? And validates the people who live in Judea and Samaria, that's something, no? At the very least, you can't say that the guy's an anti-Semite, and you can't say that the guy's, whatever, right? I mean, I really, guys, I really don't understand it. I don't understand it. I don't understand people who are just, lacking in any kind of semblance of reality and basically ungrateful. Yes. Again, we shouldn't be like bowing at his feet. We shouldn't be kissing his feet. We shouldn't be like, oh, sniveling, oh, thank you so. But at the very least, guys, like, don't crap on a person who did a whole ton of good for you and more combined good than the previous, 80 years of presidents combined. Since the state of Israel, 70-something years, 77 years. It's just bad. It's bad business, as we say, guys. Not good. Anyway, I think you guys get the point, and like I said, in the beginning, I'm not like a rubber stamp everything President Trump does. There's a lot of things I'm kind of like, the heck's he doing? Once in a while, but when it comes to this thing, when it comes to Israel, again, the whole deal thing, the way it was done publicly, everything like that, and who they let out, trust me, I'm with you, but to say that he is against us is like, I don't know. If you want to say Obama was against us, yes. If you want to say, Bush 41, Papa, the father, was against us in many ways, yes. If you want to say Clinton was, with this two-state delusion, yes. If you want to say W was partially, misguided, yes. But guys, Trump, of all freaking people, after everything he's done, I'm very sorry. All right, guys. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents on that. All right. Talk to you soon.